Whoa. It's the Illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. It's time for another book review. Barkskins by Annie Proulx. I don't really know how to pronounce the last name. Proulx. Barkskins. Ooh, there's some pages in there, aren't there? What an awesome book. What an awesome book. And I highly recommend it. It's fiction. It's about loggers, about people logging from the late 1600s all the way up to modern day, and it follows these two family lines that meet as indentured servants in what is Quebec now, and they meet being indentured servants, and it follows their lineage into modern day, and it's all about the destruction of the forest. It's a page turner. It's one of these multi-generational type books where you just move through the timeline. There's two family trees in the back of the book, so you can keep track of who everybody is. My one thing I'll say right off the bat is this book seems to be about 100 pages short. Once it gets up to modern day, it just sort of blows through it in like 20 pages. So it seems like it's a little rushed at the end. That's my only complaint. But besides that, wow, what a great book. And how it's written is little snippets, little snapshots in there, and so you get this complete narrative, but there's little ends that things just stop and end and begin, because that's life. Fascinating read and a horrifying read at the same time. You really realize that people viewed the forest as the enemy. When they first landed on North America, it was a dense forest, and the mindset was really to go in and conquer the forest. In the beginning of the book, so one of the family lines is this Duke family that become lumber barons and just basically cut down the forest, and the other is these original people, I think the Mi'kmaws, that and you follow their lineage, and they're basically the indigenous population that just gets crushed, and so you get these two perspectives going forward, and it's a sad tale. It's really how do you unturn. There's no unringing the bell. But what you really get, a profound thing that I got from it was, we live in a time of healing. Like, we don't have to continue the savagery of the human experience anymore. Like, I don't think we get how lucky we are, and I see when I go down off the hill up here that people seem ready to burn this all down, to destroy this in the name of some funky reasons that there's problems, but there's not problem. We are given all this freedom and technology, and we have the ability to heal, except people are using the freedom and the technology to hurt one another and launch these terrible ideas and somehow justifying violence. I just can't wrap my head around it. And so you read this book and you realize that how hard it is to be a human being on Spaceship Earth. He doesn't want me to look over it. How hard it is to be a human being on Spaceship Earth, and that I live in a time and space right now where the Mother Nature's not really out to kill me. And that's kind of, I don't think Mother Nature cares one way or the other. What I mean is, I'm safe. Like, I'm not going to get eaten by a mountain lion today, or, starve because, there was too much frost, I'm not subject to the whims of weather. Yeah, an earthquake could happen right now and mess everything up, but still I've got, cupboards full of food and also, batteries and stuff. You read about this, it was skin and bones, and you had to make your way in the world. And how they did it back in the day was they exploited the forest. And so there's these two competing ideas going on as the forest as a giver of this eternity of life supporting stuff, and then this one-dimensional cut it down now, make money, build things, and move on to the next chunk of forest. Because in the beginning you really get this concept that they thought that the forest was never ending. Like you can imagine, it's the late 1600s and they get in the New World and they're just chopping their way through it. But the forest went as far as they could go at that time. I mean, because they could only walk or ride a horse. So how far could they get? And it was this tangled mass. There were no roads. There was just trails. And so they could only move so far, and as far as they could go, there was just trees and forest and all the stuff that comes with forest, bears and catamounts and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And so you can see where their mindset was like, we just need to clear space to and that's where you bumped into the indigenous population, the original people that were like, no, dude, we live in harmony with it. We're not fighting the forest. We were one with the forest. And yet this perspective of material money, man. And here we are, man. And here we are, dude. Now the forest is ideas of freedom, and we're destroying that in the name of a quick buck. You look at what's going on, man. We do not want to destroy history. History is the touchstone to our future. I'll just keep saying that is if you want to know what the future looks like, study the past. And that's why they want to eradicate history, is because it's like a looking glass into the future. So I read this book and it gives me an insight, because it's the fiction, nonfiction. It's full of interesting facts and stuff, but it's a fictional narrative, so it's just moving along, and you get into this thing and these people, and you're watching the climb through history, and you realize that most people are just blips. It makes me realize how just inconsequential I am, but how consequential I am. It's that thing of, yeah, and it, so that the main character is the forest. I mean, it really hit me as on my tree hugger level. Like, whoa, like, no, I know what this is about. This battle with trying to preserve the forest, and yet the inevitability of the human condition. And so here I am, I sit in modern world 2017, and I go, dude, what do we should be spending all of our energy healing, not hurting. I don't get why people are still hurting one another. It doesn't make any sense. And you read this book and you realize that, like, we've done all that. It's time to stop hurting. And then you just realize, you hear people talking. It's like there was a whole part where, like, cholera wipes out a whole, like, swath of people. And how good we have it, and yet how we're just allowing ourselves to be brainwashed into this primitive mindset. And dude, I can see it. I don't even plug into the system, but I see it. So this book was just, what do they like to say, a tour de force. is a great read, man. I just can't say anything except positive things about this book. And like I said, I thought it came up 100 pages short. I felt like maybe the author was rushing the end. And it sort of ended on a little bit of a rant. The last nugget of it was sort of, I don't know, I won't spoil it for you, dude. You can read it and find out yourself. I got what it was about, though. I got why there was the rant, but I'm saying that there should have been another 50 pages in there to build up to the rant that this one character does at the end. The last of the, where, because it gets to like modern day, 2013, I think, is when it ends. And so I'm highly recommending Barkskins by Annie Proulx. It is. It's an awesome book. And it reminds me of, there's another book called Middlesex. It's about this Armenian family that comes, and 3 generations of them moving through time from the Armenian genocide to modern day. It reminded me a lot of that, because that was a big, thick book too, dude. Middlesex. But Barkskins, I'm highly recommending. I haven't read a book I haven't liked in a long time, but maybe that's just because I'm open to new ideas. Maybe we need to open our minds. Open our minds. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. To resist is to suffer. Anyway, this is The Illusion, another book review down. Boom.